What's up guys, Pikachu's cousin here, bringing you a Little Cup Wi-Fi battle against NMANDUDE from the Small Gun Wi-Fi Battle Finder. His channel will be in the description, so why don't you check him out? Couldn't hurt. And, you know, this was a pretty fun battle. I was getting spanked at the beginning, but I brought it back, and I probably could have won, except it would have been really stally, so... You know, he said he wanted to upload, and I just decided to lose, but we'll see. You can decide for yourself. Anyway, I'm gonna lead off with my Electrike, as he does with his Deino, but I went for Hidden Power, which I thought was Ice, but it turned out to be Grass, and he goes straight for a Dragon Rage, and in my opinion, set damage moves in Little Cup are pretty cheap, like Dragon Rage and Sonic Boom. But, you know, you can't stop anybody from using them, so whatever. And I go into my defensive wall. I don't know, I thought he was my special defensive one. I grabbed the wrong Sandshrew. But anyway, I go for the Toxic just because I can see that this thing is about to go on a rampage. Because I don't really have anything to stop it. So I want to get some continuous damage off on him. And I'm going to set up the Stealth Rocks thinking that he's either going to Dragon Tail me or just go for another... Dragon Rage, but he turns out to Dragon Tail me, and he gets a crit, so it does just over half. And I get dragged out into my Pine Cone, and I'm like, alright, well, he doesn't have a spinner, so I can set up some spikes. I know I can at least take two of whatever he's got. And he goes for a Dark Pulse, and it does just over half again. And I'm thinking, I can probably still get some use out of my Pine Cone, so I'm gonna switch out back into my Sandshrew to basically fodder him off at whatever hit he's going to use, and he goes for the Dragon Rage, which is total overkill on my 9 HP, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. And he's going to lose a decent chunk of health to that Toxic. And I realize, what the hell, I have a Venonat, and it can easily outspeed him and go for the Signal Beam. This Pokemon right here is one of my favorite Little Cup Pokemon, and he's easily the MVP in this match. And finally, down goes that I have no idea, that dragon. And he brings in this Lilpup. And I go for the Sleep Powder stupidly, because I forgot about the Vital Spirit ability. And he's going to go for an Aerial Ace, and that's going to do just half. But actually, that's just a bit more than half. But I do carry the Oran Berries, so... I go just about back to full health, and I'm going to switch out here because I don't want to take another Aerial Ace, and I'm going to go into my Eevee, my Choice Banded Eevee actually, to take the Aerial Ace, and what do I go for? I believe it is a, yeah, I go for the Choice Banded Quick Attack because I wasn't even sure if I was going to outspeed him. And so that was a safe move, and it turns out it KOs him, so I'm fine with that. And he goes into the Snivy, and it gets the rocks and spikes damage, and that's always nice. So I'm going to switch out here, go into my Venonat, because I know I can outspeed, and I think Signal Beam is enough to KO him from there. He's going to predict a switch, I think, and set up a Sword Stance, but I'm not really fearing it, because I can't really think of any move that he would have against me, because he's Grass type. And he goes for Facade, which is like, okay, whatever, that does a decent chunk, but I go for the second Signal Beam, and that's more than enough to take him out. He lived with 1 HP, actually, he told me in the chat, which is kind of funny, but it's pretty typical for Little Cup. And he goes into the Chimchar, and it gets raped by the rocks and the spikes. And I don't want to lose my Venonat, so I'm going to switch out into my Pine Cone, basically to fodder him off to whatever move he's gonna go for. And he goes for the Fire Punch. And I don't see any Life Orb or anything, so I'm starting to think that he's probably gonna be a bulky Evilite attacker. So I go into my Choice Band Eevee and I go for the Quick Attack, thinking that I wouldn't outspeed him. But he goes for the friggin' Drain Punch and gets a juicy chunk of health back, and I was like, shit, well, that's not good. So I'm gonna go into my Tailow, and I started screaming, Brave Bird! And hoping that this would KO this bitch monkey, but it doesn't, and he's gonna take me out with a Fire Punch. This thing is just wrecking right now, destroying all my Pokemon. And I'm like, alright, well, I know I'm pretty sure Venonat can outspeed him, I think. And so I was going to go for the sleep powder, and for some reason he switches out right there, because if he's going to bring back in his Chimchar, it's probably going to die from the rocks and the spikes. So I get the lucky sleep powder, even though it's not lucky, because Venonat has compound eyes, so that boosts the accuracy to basically, a guesstimate would be 95%. But now that he's asleep, I'm going to start setting up the agility, so I get +2, and I'm pretty sure I can outspeed everything on his team now. So I'm going to start going for the signal beam. Oh, excuse me. Oh god. I just burped right there. But that's besides the point. And he's gonna keep getting those leftovers back, and I'm like, shit, this is gonna take a while. So I actually misclicked right here and went for the agility, but it's probably a good thing because that it turns out this Aron carries a rock polish, and he may have been able to outspeed me if he set up one, because I'm not really sure. I don't know Aron's base speed, but I know he's not the slowest Pokemon, even though his typing makes him seem like he would be slow. But he wakes up and he goes for the Endeavor, and I don't know, that didn't do much at all. So I'm gonna go for the Signal Beam, and I still don't get a Confusion. I thought I would have got a Confusion by now. But that doesn't matter. He's gonna set up the Rock Polish, and if he had like a rock type attack, like maybe Head Smash or even Rock Throw, he probably would have been able to end it right there. But I do go for another Signal Beam and take him out. And he's gonna bring out his Larvesta, this bedbug. If this thing was in my bed, I would freak the hell out. And this is in the chat. I said where I could probably sleep stall for the win, but I decided not to, and I just went for the Signal Beam because I knew it wouldn't take him out, and he goes for the Flamethrower and takes me out. So that is good game. It was a really fun match, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to bring you some more Little Cup battles because they're really fun. Tons of Pokemon to play around with, but kind of hard to find. But anyway, peace out, guys.